Hi you guys, and welcome to another super secret Patreon Q&A. I was just like staring at my tea and being super careful of not like spilling everything. Today guys is it's going to be a very chill and casual Patreon Q&A, as all the patrons Q&A, because let's be honest, they're all very casual and relaxed. Especially today, because yesterday Cereal, my cat Cereal, was feeling really sick, and she woke us up at 5 a.m. and we couldn't go back to sleep because she was like crying and everything. She's okay, by the way, but she's been having this infection on and off for a couple of months, and we gave her medicine, and now she's like finally sleeping and recovering. But I am really tired, guys. Like, I feel like a zombie right now, but it's nice because I love talking to you guys so fucking much, and I love just like being with you, and I feel like since we're friends, this would be something actually that I would do with friends, like not complaining about how tired I am, but just like, oh my god, I am so tired. It's so nice to be surrounded by awesome people while you're not having the best time. But now I'm having the best time, so it's okay. You guys, the rules are the same as usual. This is going to be a visual podcast in the sense that I'm not going to put any inserts, drawings, unless I specify. So you can put this video on the background and just like do whatever you want, clean your room, cook, or I don't know, like do some exercise, or like drawing, or whatever you want. So don't worry if you're not like staring at the screen. And two, I am going to leave all the questions down below, sort of like a question menu, in case you want to check any specific answer and you don't want to watch the entire video, because I feel, guys, every time I do one of these videos, I feel we're always trying to break any record. Is that the word you use, break any record? Because all the all the videos are longer and longer every time. So let's cut to the chase. Let's cut the chase. There's two questions that are very similar. Tiffany asked about, I also want to know how you gain your followers on social media. Is that, if that is possible, like how you become a well-known illustrator. JD Khedivela. Oh my god, I am the worst pronouncing names, so I'm so sorry, guys. But you said that you usually post your work on Facebook and Instagram, but most of the time you didn't sort any effects. This is so discouraging. I know, baby, just like, ah, god, I know exactly how you feel. So in some way you both asked me advices on social media and how to keep going and how to have like a consistent portfolio. There's the thing, guys. If I can give you any advice or tips on social media and how to post stuff on platforms such as YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that, this thing, guys, and you're going to hate me for this answer, but these things, they take time. Sort of like, if you want to have like a time reference, I started using social media back in 2012. I used social media in Spanish back then, god. I think it was even earlier than that, because I remember I was working at the magazine and I joined Twitter for the first time, and that was like 2010. But anyway, let's pretend it was 2012. I started using both platforms, and I think Instagram was later than that. But I started on Spanish, because back then social media wasn't something that you used for work or like any promotion, it was just there. And I started actively using social media when I moved to abroad. And then on 2014, I think, I started using my platforms. It was 2014? Yes, I started using all of my platforms in English, which is another question actually. But I started using all of my platforms in English, and that was like a very tough transition. So if you think about it, all the stuff that I in some way have done within my social media, it all began back in 2014. So I have been done this full-time, like managing social media at least in my platforms, for 3 years now. And it's been something that is taking so fucking long, guys. I'm sorry if I'm swearing so much. I'm just like really tired. But I think, guys, I even wrote down stuff because I really want to give you the best tips. The first thing that I wrote is like, it takes time, because it does. A lot of the times, and I don't mean this with you guys, but I read comments every day on YouTube and on other people's accounts, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you got famous in like 6 months, or oh my god, could you please tell me how to gain 1,000 followers in a week? And it's like, it's not possible. It's really weird. I mean, it's not weird, but it's not that frequent that you see an overnight success. Most of the times we're not aware of how much time and effort something takes, especially on social media. So this is the first thing, guys. The not so cool advice is that it will take time and you have to be patient. I also wrote post frequently. I know both of you guys said that you're posting frequently and you're not getting the response that you're both looking for. I remember, I think it was my first 2 years, or at least my first year, I felt so discouraged about everything. I remember feeling very lost, and no one was following me, no one was commenting anything that I was doing. But since I wasn't on social media because I wanted to be famous on social media, I just did it because I liked it. I liked drawing, I liked sharing stuff. I wasn't comparing myself too much to other people, even though I could, but I was just happy with the small interaction I had back then. I've also noticed, guys, that when you gain, and I don't know if you, yeah, I'm going to comment. I'm going to say this. Every time I see people gaining a huge amount of followers on social media, like, I don't know, like an overnight success, if there's even a huge, like, if there's even an overnight success, most of the times those followers are not completely fans of this person's works. And the other thing that I've noticed is that the person can handle the amount of comments and interaction with people, and they tend to go away really fast, or they stop posting because it gets too much. What I've noticed with time, and guys, I am not by any means any expert, I would rather have an interactive, like a high positive interactive audience in small doses every day, like gaining 1 follower a day even, that having 5,000 I don't know, followers by the end of the week. Because I've noticed, at least what I've seen with time and lots of examples of people, is that is the best way of growing. Like, slow and steady wins the race, I think is the way you say that. It might be really discouraging because I know you want all the followers right now, but believe me, guys, that's not the path. At least it's not for me. And I have seen that every time lots of people want that, and they in some way make it, like they gain lots of followers, it backfires a lot. Try to focus not on gaining followers. Gaining followers is not the goal, guys. It's not really. Just, I don't want to say there's something wrong if you're only focusing on gaining followers, because I don't know if that's the case, but I will rather focus on getting better at other things than gaining followers. For example, it's just that there's so many things that you can do with that energy. Like, you can focus your time on getting better at a technique that you want to practice, or like something interesting that you're thinking, or like you want to develop yourself in some way, or like you want to experiment with new techniques and new, I don't know, like any sort of thing, rather than only focusing on gaining followers. It might be, I don't know, guys, sometimes when I say these advices out loud, I don't want you to think like, oh my god, Fran, it's so easy for you to say that because you already have the followers. But for a long time I didn't, and I don't know, I think that even when I had 1,000 followers on Instagram, I wasn't worried about the followers. And when they arrived, I was happy, but even when they weren't there, I was happy as well. I don't know if that's a mojo in life, but at least this is like me being brutally honest with you guys, like gaining the followers is not the right way. Since you're always, this is the thing with obsessing with a number, numbers always go away and they always can go higher. So having a number as a goal, it's very tricky because you will always crave for more. And I've seen people from all aspects of the internet saying this, like famous YouTubers and bloggers and everything. They say like, please never focus on the number, because numbers, you will always be obsessed with a higher number. So focus on something else and the numbers will eventually come. I also wrote, it's okay to follow trends, but it's more important to set apart, to set yourself apart. And with this, I'm saying that lots of people tend to focus on YouTube and on Instagram on following trends. Like, oh my God, witches are so in right now, so I'm only going to draw witches. And that's amazing. Like, if you want to gain followers, like doing fan art or like following trends, that's awesome. But I feel like if you really want to set yourself apart, allow yourself some time to also create unique and original content. For example, draw what's interesting for you. I know this is like a super random example, but the other day I was drawing stories from people. I don't know if you notice that on Instagram, guys, but I drew stories that popular kids did when we were young, when we were kids. And it's something that I have never seen on Instagram, but I genuinely was really interested on knowing these stories because I don't know, I feel like I wasn't ever part of the popular kids. I was like heavily bullied on school, like in school. And I remember feeling so weirded out about what popular kids did at my school. So I was genuinely interested on knowing those stories. And it was something that a lot of people enjoyed and laugh about. And I enjoyed, guys, so freaking much the entire process that I didn't even check how many people were following the story or how many people were commenting. I don't even know until today like how many likes the post has, because I genuinely had so much fun doing it that I almost didn't mind what other people think. And then I noticed that a lot of people did enjoy it, and that like was amazing as well. It's so nice to be retributed, is that the word? But when someone loves something as well as you do, so it's like nice, corresponded, that's the word. So yeah, try to find something that is interesting to you. It's nice to put some like super relatable content on Instagram and on YouTube and follow like tags and stuff like that. It's great. If you need them to create extra content or to practice, please be my guest, do it. Like if you need to post some fan art and like stuff like that, do it. But also try to set apart time to do original content. And the other thing that I wrote is that people are naturally drawn to passionate, honest people. And with this, I know this is a tricky word, guys, because most of the times we don't feel passionate about anything, and we're just like naturally pressed, or we're not having a great time. So it's like, how can I draw people into my life and into my work if I'm not feeling passionate right now? And that's okay. That's why I wrote honest people. I am naturally drawn to people who open themselves and people that are vulnerable. Oh, finally, I can say that word. Because they're honest and they're raw and they're sharing intimate stuff with an audience, and I feel relatable to that. So try, in my opinion, I mean, these are my advice, guys. It might be not the advice for other people, but at least I am naturally drawn to people that are very open on social media. I know I said this example earlier on my newsletter podcast about Mary Andrew, and she's an awesome illustrator on Instagram. Please check her work out. She's amazing. And this is a part of my third advice: open yourself, be true to yourself and vulnerable, and have a powerful message. She's not like a proper quintessential illustrator, but she has amazing and powerful messages because she speaks from the heart. If you check her Instagram and all of the work that she does, that's why her content is so freaking relatable, but in a more meaningful way that, I don't know, I like coffee and cats. That's why I admire her so much, because her message is really, really powerful. I am sure, guys, with this advice, if you have any problems with portfolio, with content, people are not sharing your work, or like if you feel like you need to have a cohesive look, these guys, all of these tips that I already gave you will make a difference somehow. You just need to work really hard and be patient. And I hope this question, like these answers, all of these things that I just said make sense in a way. Please, my loves, never be offended by what I'm telling you. This is just my, like, the way that I have done it for the past couple of weeks. I might be completely wrong, but this is at least what I look for in an Instagram account, what I do with my stuff and my content. And yeah, that's what I do. So I hope I helped you in any way. And these guys are applicable to every social media platform, even YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. Nicole is asking, I am discovering copic markers at the moment. Welcome to the addiction, Nicole. I'm curious if you have any tips about blending. I am sure I can find a ton of info on YouTube, but I would love to hear about your techniques. Or maybe you could talk about fears and how to overcome them. It seems that this is a major obstacle for many people, or am I the only one? Don't think so. Looking forward to Sunday. Nicole, don't worry, baby. We all, I mean, at least I am scared all the time. But I feel like the advice that I can give you about fear is just like face it one step at a time. If you're feeling anxious or like stressed or scared, I found that the best way to approach scary feelings is to just be there and show up. Even if it's just for 10 minutes doing something that you're really scared, it will go away eventually, or at least it will not go away all of it, but at least you will be used to dealing with it. You will be more open to deal with it. So, and make a list. I feel like every time I feel scared, I need to make a plan on how to deal with it and make it more manageable. Most of the time, scary things are like really big projects, and I feel like super overwhelmed to that stuff. And I feel like plan ahead and have like a daily plan schedule. It makes me feel less scared about stuff. About, oh god, copic markers and blending. Nicole, that's like the difficult part of the question, because I am not very good at blending, Nicole. That's the thing. What I do when I try to blend is that I open both markers. So for example, if I was going to blend, you have to now look at the screen, guys. But if, for example, I was trying to blend these two colors, they're two lilac-y blenders. What I do, markers. What I try to do is like I take the cap of both of them and I start painting one side with them until this color goes soft, and then I start with the other side, and then until they blend together. I am not very good at blending. It's something that I need to practice a lot, and that's why I think it's something that I don't do very often with copic markers. I try to use them as solid colors, or make them with layers like shadows and colors and stuff, but I don't usually do blending, my love, because it's really hard. And I don't feel my illustrations need them right now. But Tori is really good with blending, and I'm sure she has a couple of videos about blending. So if you want to check her YouTube channel, I'm going to leave her link down below because she's amazing. Thank you for your question, Nicole. So Sacred Princess, so excited! I love Q&A. I have two questions. One, I make and sell hand-drawn, hand-painted items, but I'm hoping to digitalize my art. Do you have any advice on how to begin to learn and how to do digital art? Do I need a Wacom or I can buy a cheaper model? Looking at the Union. I have no idea what the word is. Sacred print. I'm so sorry. So wait. So what my advice will be, start with Photoshop because it's the most simple way of painting online. I remember a couple of weeks ago I did with you guys, actually, I mean with the live drawing thingy, with the live drawing date, I painted something with you guys on Photoshop. So if you need more advices or like how I do paint my digital art, you can go to that video. And the other thing is that with Wacoms, Oh God, I am so out of the bandwagon with that one, because the Wacom that I use is a old Cintiq, and I bought that Cintiq 5 or 6 years ago, and is the Wacom that I have been using all this time. And before that I had a Wacom Bamboo, which is a Wacom that you can't see the screen. And that Wacom, God, I used that so freaking long. In my opinion, if you want to try a Wacom, just like go to a shop and try it there. If you want to start with one, I would highly suggest you the Wacom Intuos, which I think is the new version of the Wacom Bamboo, the old Wacom Bamboo. It doesn't have a screen, so you might get used to the idea of drawing without like actual looking to the screen, because you were looking at the screen of your computer and not to the drawing. But believe me, you will get used to it. It's like using a mouse, because you don't see the mouse when you're like clicking. This is the same situation. If you want to invest, go for a Cintiq. They are very expensive, but I will not suggest you to buy a Cintiq right away, because you didn't mention this, but you haven't started painting with digital art, like digital software so far. So if you're just starting and you have no idea if this is going to be something you will do in the future, just start with the cheapest Wacom and then go all the way up. I know a lot of people are using iPad Pros to paint, which are amazing, but iPad Pro, the last time that I used one, I didn't feel quite comfortable using it because I am so used to Photoshop, and Wacom Bamboo and the iPad Pro, they don't have the Photoshop app. They just have Procreate and a couple of other softwares. So you can also try an iPad Pro if that's better and more convenient for you. But I know they're also really expensive. They're actually more expensive than a Cintiq now that I think about it. So start with a Wacom Bamboo and then see how it goes. And her second question is, I also agree with I love the advice to have a wider audience. Oh, I already answered that. Thank you so much, baby. Jessie asks in Spanish, so I'm going to translate as I'm reading this. I want to illustrate a book, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know, I have no idea if I should, what should I illustrate and what not. Could you please tell me, how do you start and how did you learn? So, God, I didn't take any courses how to do a book. I just started one day and I noticed that if I can give you any advice, please do storyboards first. If you're writing a book, you need to see how all the pages are going to look like before you start. A storyboard is basically this, Jessie. You need to look at the camera right now. Is this. I don't know if you can see, but there's like small details of all the pages and how they're going to look like. This way you know exactly how to compose them and how the design is going to look like, or in how many texts each page is going to have. This way you'll know exactly how much is going to print the book, how much text do you need, how much to edit the text, and so on and so on. And that's great. And also you can see how to design one page in front of the other, because I've noticed that with books it's really important to know what is going to be in the next page when you're designing one. So that's like my main advice in terms of like designing a book. Two, I have a small frustration at the time of getting clients. I don't know if I should do a portfolio in WordPress or keep up in Instagram. Oh man, I feel so out of the loop with commissions and portfolio. I feel like WordPress is great, but if you have to choose, I'll say have your work on Instagram, because now most of the, I don't know what editors and art directors are doing, but lots of the time they go to social media first, and then if they're interested, they will go to your website. People are not longer going to websites anymore, guys, which is insane. Most of the action, it goes on social media. They go first to your platform, social media platforms, and they then move on if they're interested on blogs and all of the rest. So in my opinion, keep going on Instagram, but also have either a Tumblr page or a WordPress with more details and more pictures of each project. That's my answer, Jessie. I hope it helped. Adeline asks, hi friend! Adeline is great. Not sure if you have mentioned this before, but can you show us how do you do your text overlay for your videos? And on Instagram, photos and videos, which app do you use for the text overlay? So all of the text and stuff you see on Instagram stories is hand drawn with my finger. But on my videos, I actually use Photoshop. I can say, guys, this with all my modesty. My God, this is really embarrassing. But I was one of the first YouTubers who put hand-drawn stuff on videos, and I'm really proud about that. I've always used my Cintiq, and I've always used Photoshop. So what I do is like, I literally, guys, draw something, like write something like hello on Photoshop, and then I save the file as a PNG without any background. So it's a transparent PNG, and that's how I put it on my videos, and that's it. It's really easy. I think it's easier when you have a Procreate and with an iPad Pro, but I have done this for so freaking long that it's easy. I just do it, and that's it. If this wasn't, I don't know if I explain myself really good, so please, Adeline, let me know if this made sense, because I have no idea. Elodie Duclos. Elodie! Hi fan, how are you? I have 3 questions for you. 1, how do you manage your brand with 2 languages, Spanish and English? How do you choose what to create in each language? For example, why the Friendship podcast is only in Spanish and your Instagram's illustration in English? As I'm French, as I'm a French girl who wants to be able to sell my art worldwide, I have so many questions on how to go with it. Elodie, this is the thing. Since the Friendship book was first published in Spanish, and I knew we needed to have a social media promotion in Spanish, because this is the weird thing, but the book is only for sale in Chile, and most of the people in Chile, they don't know English. And we knew that the promotion needed to be in Spanish, and that's why we started to do the podcast in Spanish. Why? Because it would have been really, really weird if the book is only available in Spanish in Chile, and the podcast would have been in English. You know what I'm trying to say? With my YouTube video about the process behind the book was trickier, because my YouTube channel is already 100% in English, and I had to write Kevin did. He wrote all the subtitles in Spanish, and that's why the whole process behind the book was with the subtitles. And most of my followers in Chile, they don't mind. I'm sorry guys, I moved the camera. We Chileans, we're very used to reading subtitles, because that's how we grow up. Reading subtitles all the time, but with all the movies. So we don't mind reading subtitles. But it depends on your audience and what audience you want to reach. I changed my language because I realized that the audience I wanted to reach back then, when I moved to Berlin, was an English-speaking audience. I realized the illustration scene in Europe and the States was more appealing to me. Not to say that in Chile it's not appealing, it's just that I was more drawn to that illustration scene, and that's why I changed my language. It's tricky, and it takes lots of time, Elodie, because most of the times you have to do 2 translations, and that takes time. And also you need to be fully, not fully aware, but you need to have like a good, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm shaking this camera so you need to have like a good sense of the language in order to translate every time. So for example, I stopped translating everything on my social media. Every once in a while I do some Spanish tweets, but on Facebook and on Patreon most of the times I translate everything. And it takes time, because it's not like, oh, I'm going to write whatever I want and then I'm going to press publish and that's it. It's like, oh my god, okay, so all the things that I just said in English, I have to translate them in Spanish. But yeah, so kudos to you, baby, to be bilingual. It's amazing, but it will take you double to post anything. It's worth the while. It's worth the work, and you can totally do this. But it's amazing because you will reach true audiences, and that's already something that will leave you, it will be more beneficial for you, so you can totally do this. 2, how do you choose your artist name Frannerd? I see some artists use their full name, some only their first name, and others create an artist name. They all seem to be able to be successful no matter their choice, but I would love your input on this name question, and if you will make the same choice today, choose Frannerd if you were to start today. Oh my god. I chose Frannerd when I was in uni because everybody called me nerd because I went to the library. I was practically living in the library, in my faculty's library, and it came very naturally, like Frannerd, but I love having it's not an alter ego because I feel like Fran is Frannerd. I don't feel like I am any different from the name, and I felt like it was much catchier and it caught more people's attention to have a nickname than having a full name. And also, Lori, obviously you don't know this, but Francisca, and Meneses is a very common name in Chile. Not like, oh my god, everybody has that name, but it's a very common name nonetheless. So I thought to myself that Frannerd was going to be a way of distinguishing myself from other people. But then all of my friends also were using nicknames, so I kind of stuck with it. But right now I feel like no matter what you do, if you chose to have your name or a nickname, just like go with it. I feel like, oh god, it's such a tricky question. It's because I don't want to give you the wrong advice. A lot of people chose to have a nickname to sort of like separate themselves from this like online character and their intimate, more like closed doors, real persona. So I get that lots of people just want to be a character, like not a character, but this like nickname artist person, to keep sort of like a more privacy thing going on. But I don't know, I just like, I feel like having your real name gives you more professionalism in some way. I feel like if you have your whole name, it looks like more put together and professional. Sometimes I wish I was Fran Meneses as an artist, but I don't mind being Frannerd because Frannerd it's me, so it's like, I feel it's more recognizable, it's more catchy. People tend to laugh when I say like, oh yeah, I'm Frannerd, because it's like, it's such a funny name. So right now it's not bothering me. I don't feel like I'm going to change my artist name to Fran Meneses because for me they're equally the same. I really, and nobody calls me Frannerd on the street, they call me Fran. So it's something that only appears, it only is something that you can see on like events or or I don't know, like it's a struggle sometimes because, for example, for the, I'm going to show you this, the friendship book. So I don't know if you can see, it's backward against, guys, but in the cover, I don't know if you can see, but it's Ed Paves, my husband Ed, and me. And I remember my editor was like, would you rather be Fran Meneses or Frannerd? And I'm like, oh, Frannerd, of course. And I'm like, oh wait, what? No. And then I was like, yeah, Frannerd. It's longer because people have to say Fran Meneses, aka Frannerd, and it's kind of, so either way, my love, everything's going to be okay. If you can't think of a name, of a nickname, just go with your name and then something will eventually come up. But if not, just like put your name. If you feel like super, that harass is the word? I don't know, but like if you feel unsafe putting your whole name, or if you want to keep your privacy details and not say anyone to full name, or if you want to keep like some sort of boundary between your personal life and your professional life, have a nickname, and that will be amazing. The other thing is that if your name is hard to pronounce, not in your case, Lori, but if your name is hard to pronounce or it has too many accents or like weird characters, I will also suggest some simplified version of your name, just in case. So that I think was the problem with Frannerd in the beginning, that people were like, wait, so there's 2 N's or 1 N? And I'm like, no, it's 2 N's. I know that's silly, but it needs to be easy to pronunciate, it needs to be easy to write, and it needs to be catchy and easy to remember. 3, where should I put my illustrations on the internet for them to be seen? I would create an Instagram account and a website, of course, but I wonder if I should put my illustrations on the other platform like Tumblr or Behance or dedicated portfolio websites. I know it's a lot of questions, but I have so many of them and so few answers that I sometimes feel overwhelmed by the possibilities that I can't focus on creating art. Oh my god, Ellie, don't worry. Again, thank you so much for dedicating some of your time to answer my questions. It's really great help for me. Have a great day. Oh my god, Ellie. So, in my opinion, just like the answer that I said a couple of minutes ago, a couple of hours ago, have social media, of course, and also have a Behance or a Tumblr. I think it doesn't matter the website because people are not longer visiting websites that often. They will rather Google your name and see what it comes up. But have a website. And you guys, I know I always say this, but please put your contact details visible. It's so freaking hard sometimes to contact people on social media because they never put the email address or the website or how to contact them or anything. So please guys, put your email, put your website visible. If you have an online shop, put it visible also. And yeah, that's why I hope it was helpful, Elodie. Mara is great. Friends, no questions. 1, what are your favorite organization supplies, fun tapes, stickers, special paper on your planners? I am a very simple kind of gal, Mara, and I love Post-its. I love the smell of Post-its. There's a couple of Post-its. They're not of the brand Post-it, but they're like cheapo versions of Post-its, and those are my favorite ones. Look, I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera so much, guys, but are these ones, and they're like pastel-y colors. I love them a lot. Also, plain notebooks, my favorite, and you can never go wrong with washi tapes. I love washi tapes. 2, how do you practice your detailed pen outline work in your drawings? I feel like when you go into outline and add the little hair marks or like cool cloud details, how do you do? Oh my god, I'm sorry, Mara, I'm really tired. Do you do it in such a way where it looks spontaneous but also exact? Do you get nervous about going in with ink? Oh my god, yes. Yes! It helps if there's an outline of pencil underneath, because of course you know what you're outlining. God, I'm really tired. But I think the certainty, or like at least not being so nervous, came when I started doing it more frequently, and I felt more naturally, I felt more confident with my shapes and the curves that I do, or like the lines that I do, when I started doing it very, very frequently. But I'm still very scared, and when I drink coffee, those lines get really, really shaky. But I kind of embrace the idea of the imperfectionness of the lines. I think they make them more humane and raw and real, and I like that on illustrations. So Rainings, my god, is that the way how you pronounce your name? My god, I am so bad at this. I'm so sorry, guys. Silly question. Once in a video you said one of your favorite foods was salad. Oh my god, I know how this goes. Okay. And you made your own salads, and you might show them someday. Can you show us how you make your salads? Thank you, beautiful. Rainings, this is something that I know I have to do, and I have waiting for a while to this, and I think tonight Ed and I are going to finally show you the process behind our salads. So fingers crossed, I'm going to upload the video next week. So yeah, but thank you for the nice reminder. And last question from Adeline again. Dear Fran, I would also like to find out if you have any plans to put out an online course project. Thanks, hugs and love from Singapore. Adeline, I have no idea, because for a while I really wanted to do an online course about illustration, or like anything, or like freelance life and stuff like that. But they take so much time to build, like to make and to program, because you have to do all the classes and upload all the material. I was caught up on what software or website to use, and then I'm like, no, I have too much on my plate. I would rather just like spend my time, all of my time on the shop and the things that I want to do right now, and later on I can do that. But if you have any, guys, I'm serious, if you have any suggestions on what would you like to learn, I can totally do that. Maybe guys, we could do that as a patron stuff. That would be great, like online short courses for patrons. That would be amazing. Just like if you have any suggestions on what would you like to learn about illustration or like freelance or like time managing, that would be great, and I can like practice with you guys. But yeah, because you guys have helped me so much with not only like your monthly support, but all of your comments and nice thoughts, and your questions are amazing, and I love like having these long chats with you guys. So let me know if you have any suggestions or things that I can help you with. Maybe we could do like a set of videos together, like a pack, like a, yeah, is that a pack? Like a bundle? But that would be awesome. And more people in the future can enjoy those videos as well. And it will be available, I guess, for the 20 pledges. I don't know, we can figure out that later, but that would be a great idea actually. Thank you so much guys for joining me in this process. Kudos if you made it to this far. I hope you enjoyed the answers. I did my best to include all of them. I did include all of them because yeah, I really wanted to take the time to answer all of them. Let me know if all the social media things I said were useful. I'm really doing my best here, guys. It's really hard to explain how I did things because I mean, I wasn't planning any of this, so I just worked my way through and did my best and worked really hard. And yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a beautiful week. I will do my best to edit and export this video today, Wednesday, but if not, I wish you have a wonderful Thursday or Friday or weekend, and I send you all my love and hugs from here. Cereal, who is recovering right now, and she's being really soft and silky. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. I hope I am helping you and giving you back all the things that you're giving me as well. So yeah, leave suggestions down below, and we'll see each other again next month. I mean, we will see each other again probably this week again, but you know what I mean, the Q&A. Anyway. Bye guys, bye. I love you.